So when I think back to my childhood, first of all, I was born and raised in Natchez, Mississippi. I grew up in Providence and on Lower Woodville Road, which some of you may know as Linwood. But coming up as a toddler, and I think up to about age 5, I was living with my grandmother in Providence, and it was a close knitted neighborhood. Everybody just really was like family. Even if you wasn't blood related, it was just like family. I mean, I mean, pretty much anybody could whoop that ass. I'm telling you, like it wasn't like if the neighbor saw you doing something, they had that right and that authority to tear in on you. That was how it was. Just growing up with, we had a lot of children in the neighborhood that was around the same age. So, we played a lot. And we used to always play in the projects, running up and down the hill. I remember running up and down the hill barefoot. I remember playing in the rain, jumping in water puddles after the rain. Just all of that. I remember playing basketball in the yard. My brother had a little milk crate that he made out of a basketball goal. And we used to play up on the playground, Susan B. West. I know some of y'all probably know Susan B. West school. I actually went to that school. But it was a playground up there, and we used to all, go up there and play. It was just, I mean, when I say fun, that was the real fun of my childhood. That was when I was around people my age, and, we was just being kids. I was adopted when I was 5 years old by a member of my family on my father's side, my great uncle and my great aunt. And at first I didn't know what adoption was. I didn't know about the process. All I knew was that, I was picked up one day, and I knew my great uncle because he would always ride through, and I would always see him in my grandmother's house. So I would always see him. So I knew him. I didn't know his wife at the time. But anyway, when I got to the house or whatever, it was a beautiful home to me because, of course, I was used to being in the house with my siblings. It's a lot of us in the home. And, they showed me my room, and it was like, this your room. I had a big bed in there, a TV. And this was new to me because I didn't have all of that. I was sleeping with my sisters, and, we had to share a bed and stuff like that. So I'm like, come on. Yeah. And, that was like, I was happy. But, I guess when everything was finalized for the adoption and I had to move in and I couldn't go back, like I didn't know that I wasn't going back. Nobody sat me down and explained that to me. Nobody said, hey, you're going, this is adoption. I was 5 years old. Of course, I probably wouldn't have understood it, but I was just thrown into it and just like, this is what it is. In the beginning, everything was good. Everybody was nice. And I still, I love my mom. I still wanted to be with my mom. I miss my sisters and my brother. I miss my grandmother. I miss my family that I was used to. I mean, at the end of the day, after I had gotten that room to myself, I had gotten that big bed and that TV in that room, it still didn't compensate from my normal. And my normal was sleeping with, my sisters and stuff like that. And over the course of time, I used to want to go back, and I used to always ask, and she just would be like, I guess I used to get on her nerves. She just be like, shut your mouth, you live here now, and this is it, And yeah, that's what it was. Like, I started to, get rebellious, and, I had a lot of behavior problems coming up in school and in the home. I remember just sitting in that room and just wishing that my mama come pick me up. Like, where's my mama? When is she gonna come get me? Like, I just could not wrap my mind around what I was doing here. Where was everybody else? I couldn't figure that out. My uncle used to take me to visit my family a lot. He, although his wife didn't feel like it was a good idea because she felt like when I came back that my attitude would totally change, he still would sneak and take me. He had a huge garden, and his garden was right past where my grandmother lived. So whenever we would go to the garden, he would sometimes, if he had help in the garden, he would stop me off and let me stay with my family while he worked in the garden. If he didn't have help, I would go in the garden and help him. As far as like, I used to have like this fertilizer gun that I used to run around the garden and shoot fertilizer dust to kill off the insects. I used to pick greens, peas, corn, okra, everything. I did all of that in my childhood, and I think that was a wonderful experience. We lived on a farm. It was like a farm because we had chickens, we had pigs, we had a mule, we had geese. I mean, it was a small little farm that we had. I used to pick the eggs, and he would give me the money off of the eggs when we sell them. We call it peddling. And peddling would be, well, we used to go into town and we would sell all of the greens and beans and all of the vegetables that we would pick in the garden. So we would go in town and go peddling on the weekend, which was Saturday morning, 4-day morning. And after we come from peddling, he'd drive around the neighborhood and sell eggs, and that was my pocket change. And I could go to the miniman and get junk food and stuff. So that was the happy part of my life. After a while, it just seemed like, I guess my behavior and the things that I was doing was making everybody angry. My adopted mom, she was older, and I think me and the transition that I had taken with leaving one home to another, and me not wanting to be there anymore, and my behavior, acting out and things like that, I was bad. I was just bad, and I got a lot of whoopings. It wasn't nothing for her to go out there and get a switch off the tree and tear my behind up. That's what it was. And then, like, I guess, she would talk to other family members, her daughters and stuff like that, about me, and, they all would be in my face. Everybody had something to say. Nobody ever took that time to sit me down, show me love. Nobody ever said I love you. Nobody ever hugged and kissed me. I just didn't get that at that time. And I don't hold no grudges or anything. I don't hate anybody. I forgive. I grew up in church. So, I forgive, and it's not anything that I hold against anybody. I truly am in a place now where I'm just telling my story. I'm just telling what went on with me. But I didn't feel like I was loved. I felt abandoned by my family. My dad stayed right up the street, and yeah, he would pass by sometimes. I didn't really see him often. Sometimes, but that's just what it was. That was my life at that time. I was the class clown. I was always trying to make somebody laugh in class, and I would always get in trouble. So if I get in trouble in school, then of course I'm getting in trouble at home. So that was just what it was. I think I was trying to get attention, but I was trying to get attention in all the wrong ways, and it just showed in my behavior. And I know I was a tough kid, so I asked for forgiveness too, because I know I probably got on people's nerves back then. But again, like I said, if I, with the information that I know now and how I share and I talk to my kids, and I, go deep with them and try to understand, because kids hold a lot in. And if we don't tap into their emotions and see the signs and see, like, if I see my child got a behavior problem, like, I'm going to sit you down and I'm going to talk to you. I need to pick your brain. I need to see what's going on. And so that was something that nobody paid attention to me like that. It wasn't like that. To be honest with you, I think it was a business transaction to where, back then people was doing adoptions to get checks. They adopt a child just so that they can draw the Social Security. And I feel like that's what it was. I don't feel like it was a genuine love there. I feel like it was it was a business transaction. If it was something different, forgive me for that, but I'm going by what I was showed. And like I said, I didn't get the hugs and kisses. I didn't get the I love yous. I didn't get any of that. It was just like, okay, she's here. Let's send her to school. Let's, the basics. But other than that, I just I enjoyed being with my cousins. I got a chance to play with some of my cousins sometimes. Oh man, I had a Jerry curl, and I hated that Jerry curl. I had got a curl. My adopted mom had put a Jerry curl in my head, and back then, I guess people thought that was cool, but I hated it. I hated that Jerry curl. When I was standing out at the bus, the bugs used to be flying all around. Oh my God, like, oh, it was just, I don't know, man. It was crazy. Oh, let's see. The saddest part of my childhood, I would say, would be me with my alone time, being in my room, wondering where my mom was. And when I found out that my mom had moved out of state, like, that crushed me. It really crushed me. And then I remember one time I had got a whooping really bad, and I tried to run away. I had ran up the street to my grandmother's house, and when I finally came back, they was telling me, "Oh, if you ever try to run away again, we gonna tell on your mama. We gonna tell what your mama do." And I'm like, "What do my mama do? What is this?" And so in my mind, I'm like, somebody gonna get my mom. That's what I'm thinking. So, that used to be I used to just lay in bed and just cry for my mama. I used to just wish that she would come, but she never came. She wasn't visiting me like that either. Of course, she had moved to Texas at the time, but even before she had moved, I wasn't really seeing her that often.